Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Glad you're here. How are you?
Oh, where do I start? I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm everything.
All right. Okay, well, how about we start with a minute of meditation?
Yes, that sounds awesome.
Okay, I'll set a timer. All right. You can start wherever you like.
Well, I guess it's mainly just feeling overwhelmed, the part just overwhelmed and not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
I had some blood work done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I told you I had breast cancer, but anyways, this was 7 years ago. And something wasn't feeling right. And I went to the doctor Friday. And she finally did decide to do some blood work. Well, I looked at the results today online, and some were high and some were low and some were okay. But it was mainly, I think, for the specific, for cancer.
Yeah.
So I kind of Googled, which I shouldn't have. But anyways, my doctor's out till next week, but I did call, and there's another doctor that's going to look at it, but they said he didn't get to it because he was so busy. He might get to it tonight. So I won't know anything till tomorrow. And then my dog had issues too. I do have to go back for another x-ray with her at the end of the month to see if the thing on her lung got smaller. She seems to be doing better, her cough and breathing, but I think I'm scared. There's a part of me that's scared. And I am overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And apparently I'm sad because I'm crying. I'm scared.
Yeah. Okay.
And other things, but it comes off of these two things more or less. Just it's and I should know from the last time things take time. When they find out you have cancer, by the time they do anything, it's like it takes forever.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. One of them was like 10 over what it should be. And I can't remember if that was the main one. But anyways, I have to wait for the doctor to call me. So I'm scared. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Just
Makes sense to me.
a lot of different things.
Sure.
So, and this just all happened. So it's like, and then I was dealing with the telephone because, again, I'm not getting my messages. And I called twice before, and the second time they supposedly fixed it. So again, it's not working. So I'm not getting my messages or missed calls. And at this time, I can't afford to not get those. So I was just,
Right.
there's a lot of, frustration. It's not going fast enough for me. My impatience.
Right.
So anyways, so I don't know what you can figure out of all that, but
well, I can identify parts that I hear or that I think might be parts, and then we could look at those and decide if you'd like to work with any of them or get to know any of them.
Sure.
So, a part that feels like it's not going fast enough. Part that's angry. Part that's sad and scared. Might be the same or two different ones.
I think they're probably the same. I'm scared and sad if anything happens.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been 7 years, actually. This month it was 7 years. I stopped my radiation.
Wow. So, of those parts, is there one that feels like it needs your attention most?
I think the scared, because it's just feeling so helpless, so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what I need to do. And that's all I can do, and I know I can go to the part and see what it needs.
Yeah, so you have done that?
No, no, because
Okay.
it just kind of all came to a boil, to a head.
Sure.
I went home from work.
So where does it feel like that comes from? What is the sensation in or around your body? The scared part.
Like, where in my body do I feel it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting a headache.
Mm-hmm.
My throat a little. So my throat and, just getting a headache.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that. My stomach's not upset or anything like that. It's more my throat.
Okay. And as you notice it there, how do you feel towards it?
Angry came up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you want to say more about that?
Again, angry because The whys again. Why? Why am I not better? Why? Trying to figure it out, I guess, the figure out part.
Mm-hmm.
Angry, that it's there and I have to go through it.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that knows I'm strong enough, whatever happens. And there's another part that doesn't feel strong like I was 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I know what cancer can do.
Yeah. So that part that gets angry when you look at the scared part and the anger comes up, how do you feel towards that part? How do you feel towards the anger part?
It's okay that it came to my mind that it's okay to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't anyone be angry? And
Right.
again, okay, like I'm telling you it's okay. But thinking that I'm supposed to be strong and just take everything.
Yeah.
But that came into my mind that it's okay to be angry.
Yeah. Does the part that's angry get that message from you? Does it feel that from you? Or can you direct that to the part?
I'm trying to see what it, has to say and to talk to it. But
yeah,
first, no, it didn't think it was okay to be angry.
right.
When I started getting angry about everything.
Yeah, and does that make sense to you that it would not feel like it's okay to be angry?
Yes, because that's what I do. That's what I don't allow myself to be what I need to be.
Yeah. So the part of you that pushes back on the anger and says that it's not okay, can you ask that part to step back and give you some space so that you can spend a moment getting to know the angry part?
I kind of see them like pushing back.
Right, yeah. What are they concerned about happening if they were to step back and let you get to know the angry part?
Again, it's the first thing that came to my mind is that I'll lose it. I'll lose my, what, just lose it because I'll be so angry and.
The anger will overwhelm you.
I'm just going by what the first thing pops into my head.
That's great. No, I think you're doing great. So this part feels like, or maybe in its experience, attending to that anger in that way, its concern will just make it bigger and it'll be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I know that's not true because when I deal with it, it's not overwhelming.
Yeah. So just maybe you can let the part know that. Let it know that you're here and that you're doing this work that you've done before and that you're capable of going to the anger without being overwhelmed by it. And if it does start feeling overwhelming, you can just stop. You can just back up. This part can jump back in if it needs to. Just see how it responds to that.
I could hear this voice just saying, okay, like a little girl, like, okay.
Yeah. Great. So it feels like she's giving you space?
Yeah, that it's okay to do what I need to do.
Yeah. Great. So thank her for that. And now, as you turn back towards that angry part, now how are you feeling towards it?
I don't seem to be set with it. As when you first asked me, it's like it's there and it's okay.
Yeah. And are you curious to get to know it a little bit?
Why not?
Yeah, sure. It might have some valuable information for you, and maybe, who knows? And if it doesn't, that's fine too. We can shift gears.
It's ready.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready to let it know that you're curious about it?
I am willing. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. It's your call. If you wanna, if it doesn't feel right, don't let me push you.
Okay. No, I'm good.
Awesome. So let that angry part know that you're open to listening to it, that you're curious about it. And if it would, you could also kind of ask it to not overwhelm you. And just ask it what it wants you to know about itself.
It's saying, like, can I get a break? And again, it goes back to feeling, that I guess a lot of my life was tough. And I try, I don't know if there's a feeling sorry for that part, or I don't want to be a victim part, when I look at that anger, to be curious why. I can say, why me? So I don't know if that.
Is that the part that's saying that? Is saying why me?
It may be just me saying,
Mm-hmm.
why me?
Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to you the way that this angry part is feeling, and that it's showing up that way.
It makes sense. I know that's a pattern. That's like a pattern of mine.
Well, it was saying, can I get a break? And talking about how tough so much of your life has been. And that's, I guess it was saying that's what it gets angry about. So does that part make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just Yeah, but
So just let it know that that makes sense to you, that it would show up that way, and that you see that the circumstances that it deals with and the difficulty that it's experienced.
in that part, it's like it knows I've survived.
Yeah. So it's like it's had this tough experience, but it also does see the strength in you, and that you've handled it.
Not always gracefully, but yeah, it made me be stronger.
Yeah. So sometimes you needed that anger to help with the strength. Maybe you could ask it what it would be afraid would happen if it didn't show up in that way.
If it didn't show up angry, what would it?
Yeah, if that part didn't work so hard or didn't perform its job, what is it afraid would happen?
I feel like a lot of different things are coming to me.
Yeah, and you don't have to share them with me necessarily, If it has things it wants to show you, the important thing is that you're just able to see that.
It's like, then it's happened. Well, it's going to happen anyways, regardless if I get mad or not. you know, if I'm not angry, it's going to happen. If I'm not angry, maybe it means I don't care. If I don't show that I'm angry, and I don't care what happens.
And how does this part like its job?
I really don't think it likes it. It gets tired. It gets cranky. It gets kind of hide in cocoon.
Yeah. So you can just let it know that you see that. You see how difficult that is for it. And it said something about, helping you be strong. So see if you can show it some appreciation for its intention in wanting to help you.
When I said I appreciate you, it says you do. And I said, John, and that, you're going to be okay.
You were saying that to the part that it's going to be okay?
Yeah, when I said that I appreciated, it's in the intent. it like questioned me like you do. And I think that's happened with other parts, like, you really do. And it
Yeah, so it hasn't really maybe felt that appreciation much.
seems like a lot of my parts haven't.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, I think that's the way it is. So how does it respond when you say, yeah, I really am appreciative?
That's when it like was like, you really do,
Yeah.
like it didn't believe me at first.
Does it believe you now, or?
I think it does, because after, when I said, yeah, I really do, and that I'm here with that part, that I was there with it.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's lots of parts that are really not appreciative of it, parts that, we already asked the part to step back that wants to push it away. So you might show it that you've seen how other parts have been hard on it, other parts that really dislike it.
Like saying, I know there's other parts that don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And how is it like just being kind of having the spotlight from you on it and just being with you in the way that it is right now?
I mean, it does feel comforted because it is getting my attention. And instead of, when I feel like if I'm showing these parts, I'm going to get the attention from everyone else. Not to feel sorry for me. I don't know. That just came to my mind, but I know when you have me be with the parts, and they feel much better when I am there with them.
Yeah.
To comfort myself and to know it's okay.
Yeah. What would this part rather be doing if it didn't have to work so hard in protecting you? What would it rather be doing with its energy?
Living my life as if nothing was happening, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
living like things are good. When I
Mm-hmm.
feel, like that big weight in my brain wouldn't be there.
And how old does the part think that you are?
I'm not getting anything. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that what I feel like, a younger child, but I'm getting how old the part thinks I am.
Yeah. And about what age?
Mm, I don't know. 8 came to my mind.
8?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why, I don't know, but
Well, if you want to ask that part, maybe what was going on for it when you were 8. Again, you don't have to share that with me, but you could just check with it. If there was something it was dealing with, particularly at that age.
It's like I don't remember parts of my past.
Yeah.
It's not coming.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Well, you could, update the part on your real age. And let it know that you want to go back to those other parts, any part that it's concerned about. If there is an 8-year-old in there that it's concerned about, that you can do some of this work and help heal those other parts.
Like myself hugging the child again.
Mm-hmm.
That picture came in my mind.
Of hugging the angry part, or the part that was angry?
The child, the 8-year-old, just when I was just talking to it, I just could see myself hugging. I had the picture of me hugging that child.
Yeah.
Again, why I don't, but
Yeah,
it seems
yeah.
I go to the hugs a lot. I just embrace the child.
Yeah. So how are there other parts that react when they see you doing that? Are there parts that don't want you to hug the child or don't want you to go there?
Not that I'm aware of, because I did it. It seems like I do it so quick.
Mm-hmm.
That it comes easy. It seems like when I talk to that part, that it goes in hugs.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. You've talked about kind of seeing yourself hugging it. You've talked about it. You've talked about it going to hug, and it could be, and I know this might be kind of tricky, but it could be that there's a part, maybe called a caretaking part, that rushes in to give hugs and has has its good intentions too. But even that could be a part that, might keep you from really being able to connect in a deeper way and learn more about that 8-year-old, go back into those memories some.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky concept that in this work. Because, right, when we think about hugging, it seems, compassionate, and it seems like that's self. But there is talk of what they call self-like parts. And so sometimes I think if the reaction seems a little too quick, and if like you said, you don't really have memories from then, that might indicate that you're not with the 8-year-old. This go in and hug part is.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's weird because even like when my kids were younger and that, oh my, I hugged him and snuggled and all that. And it's like, as I got older, it was just very hard for me to show that. Even now, to give hugs and stuff when people, well, kids, younger kids and that, it's like, it's so much easier for me to do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't know if there was something wrong with me. Why, I don't know. But as people get older, I have a really hard time hugging them more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. I didn't know if that had anything to do.
I think it's all connected.
Oh, what are you? Because I'm not paying attention to you. The dog's just laying there looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
She wants her snuggles. So yeah, my older sister had said that I struggled more in grade school. When I got into high school, I was okay. But see, I don't remember a lot. But this is just from what she had told me, that I seem to struggle more.
Okay.
A lot of things. So I just
I didn't catch that last thing you said.
That my sister said that I had struggled a lot until I went to high school.
Oh, okay.
And I was okay. So, but I don't remember a lot of me struggling and having a hard time. But that's what I was told by her.
Well, would you like to, have a look and see if any of those younger parts would like to communicate with you now?
I don't know if I want to do that right now.
I understand. It can be a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty willing to go, to go for it and do that. But yeah, I think
it can definitely be a lot.
I feel calmer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel much calmer than I was. More at peace, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were able to be with that angry part. Maybe you could ask it what it would like from you going forward.
Again, to be easy on it. It's not to be so hard.
Yeah. And the part that was hard on it, the part that we asked to step back, can you kind of invite it back in, and can it see how well you're able to work with the angry part, and maybe see how it responds to that?
You know what it's saying? Wow, you actually did it. Like, nice. Like, you actually did something.
Yeah.
Being not nice about it, like thinking that you can't do anything, but you did it. I don't, seems weird to me.
These parts, they're so used to their roles and they're so used to mostly protecting each other. You know, this part's protecting you from the angry part. The angry part's protecting you from some other pain, and that's, you know, that's the first thing that comes up. And they're not used to seeing or trusting for you to do this kind of work, to individually meet with the parts and to respond to them that way.
Wow, like I kind of wanted to not really smack it, but it's like it's sarcastic in a way.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's like, you really did it. It's like, yeah, I did. But yeah, I understand what you're saying totally. It's
Yeah, well, maybe, you know, and I think the aim is to do that for any part, for all the parts. And so whether or not you do that now or later, you can let that part know, and let the 8-year-old part know, and any other parts, that your intention is to get to all of them. And the work that you do with the angry part will be like the work you do with the other parts. And so any part that doesn't trust or is cynical about it, you know, you can just smile back and let them know they're next, or whoever wants to be next can be.
this is you made me think, line up. It's the lineup. You're next.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm glad I do have a good sense of humor for the most part, and that maybe that's a protecting part, though. I don't know, but I do have a pretty good. I shouldn't say very, but a pretty good sense of humor. But you just made me think of that. You're next.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have the ability to heal parts. You have the ability to listen to them, to respond to them, to learn about them.
And I thank you so much for helping me and being there too.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Your voice is like so calming, and no judgment, no nothing. It's just so calming. And I just feel very comfortable.
It's great.
It's really nice. At least I don't feel as frazzled as when you first talked.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just, you know, and I get frazzled all the time, and I'm often not, I'm sure my voice is not very soothing often, but when I'm in that place, that same place of, you know, happy to meet parts, confident that I can heal my own parts, that you can heal your own parts, and then, you know, it just brings down any anxiety or anything that stands in the way of doing the work.
Yeah, I like what you just said about it brings down the anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I do see that. I do. And I know it does work. I do see the anxiety, you know, better.
Yeah. Yeah. And the more you do it, the more they'll all come to trust you, and gets easier and easier.
Yeah, it's so much easier to do, you know, when we're doing this together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learning to do it when we're not doing this together. You know, I'm still learning and trying to remember, you know, I guess how to do it. And so it's, hey, just like learning a new language.
Yeah. It is like learning a new language. And it's like meeting a new people, but not even just strangers. They're almost like people that, you know, some of whom we've been deliberately trying not to meet for a long time. It can be a mess. It can be tangled up in there. And so to build those relationships, this can be a lot of work. learn the language, build the relationships, but we're all capable of it. We all have that in us.
I do see that. And yeah, 'cause a lot of times when I start with you, it's like, not a lot of times, but more than not, there is this. And then it's like, wow, like I shared before, it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel peaceful. It's just so neat.
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty wonderful.
Oh, we went over. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was expecting to have you longer, so I'm fine. Is there anything else? Are there any other parts that have any concerns? Any other parts that want your attention, or that you'd like to check in on now?
I was gonna say the scared part, but that part I feel is scared right now. As long as don't just yes acknowledging it and
Yeah, and I know that was the kind of first thing you said that you wanted to work on most, and then when the angry part came up, a lot of times those angry outward protector parts, they're almost in a way easier because they're so upfront. So that would be kind of where I would suggest going next, is now that the angry part's relaxed, you would turn to that scared part.
yeah, just scared. Like if it is what again, it's the what ifs, and I can't control those. I don't want to go anywhere yet. I'm not ready. I know I get sick life sometimes. I don't want to go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
It's scared of the not knowing.
Yeah.
And will I get through it? And to me, that's a lot of, again, projecting things.
Projecting into the future.
Yeah. Instead of dealing, with what is going on right now, with that scared part.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do some work with that part now with me? I'm happy to.
Yeah, I guess we can do a little.
Okay. So, how are you feeling towards the scared part now?
I feel like the lump in my throat's getting a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. So you might just let it know that you feel that.
Feels a little panicky.
Uh-huh.
Thinking of the reality.
And are you feeling curious about getting to know it?
Yes and no. I know I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can, do the best I can and see what happens. I'm always willing.
Well, you don't have to be. And, if there are parts that are saying, and there's a part that is saying no, you said yes and no. So the part that's saying no, you might want to check in with that and maybe just go with that. Maybe no is the right answer for now. Don't want to push past any concerns that any parts have.
It's still curious because it is such a big part of me that it wants to kind of peek, I guess, and see.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Okay. We can do a little bit.
That sounds good.
Okay. You're in full control. You can, we don't have to go anywhere you don't want to go. So that scared part. What's its energy like? And do you detect an age about it?
I really have a hard time like listening to see if it's saying an age. Mm-hmm. I had thought of my mother and me. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but something about dying, and I told her, don't leave me, because I feel like I'm going to get stuck in the middle and not find my way.
And this is a memory that you're having from a time you were with your mother?
Talking to her, yeah.
Yeah.
Her age and that. And I was older.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember about how old?
My kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be 40s, or I was up there, because I can remember her saying, maybe that's one of my, being scared.
Yeah.
So the part,
yeah. So the part's showing you a memory of a time that you had a sadness and a scaredness around being left, your mother leaving you. Yeah, like if just come and get me, and don't. I'm going to be like trapped somewhere, and no one's gonna find me. Yeah. So again, alone again. Does that make sense to you? Feeling that way, you mean again? Does it make sense that the part would be scared about that to you? Would have the fear that if your mother leaves you, you'll be trapped. Yeah, or yeah. This time it goes more back to my mother. I just that image just with. And again, I had asked you. Sometimes images point the way too, right? Like, is that how I want to say? Absolutely. Yeah. That's what came to me. Yeah. A conversation I had with her once. Yeah, so just let that part know, the part that's scared. Let it know that you see that. You see what it's showing you. You remember that. You see how hard it was for it to deal with that.
Still seems to be feeling a little nervous, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You could try asking the part how old it thinks you are.
This time old came to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, but old.
Mm-hmm. Does it feel like it recognizes you? Does it feel like it knows you for who you are?
Sometimes no, it feels like I'm somebody else.
Right. And does that make sense to you that it might not recognize you, or that it hasn't had that relationship with you? And that would be a reason for it to be anxious.
I don't know if I'm understanding what you're saying, I guess.
Okay. So the part was feeling anxious,
Yeah.
and I was asking if it recognizes you, and you said, maybe not always, or it feels like no. And so I'm asking you if it makes sense that this anxiety that this part feels, does it make sense that it feels that, considering it doesn't really recognize you, it doesn't really have that relationship with you?
Yeah, because not having a relationship with someone that you don't trust them either, it's
Right.
on some,
Yeah.
anxious. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I understand now.
Yeah. So just let it know you understand that, and that you're not going to push it or ask it to do anything it doesn't want to do. You might just let it know that, again, kind of help it to see you for who you are, to see your real age. Let it know that, yeah, let it know who you are.
I just got a picture of like I'm trudging with these boots on, just trudging when I see how old I am now, and like I'm just trudging through. Don't ask me why, but that's a picture I got.
Okay. And what does that feel like? What's the sensation of trudging through? Is that
Heaviness,
heaviness, difficulty?
heavy load.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's like a heavy load. On more than I need to, maybe.
Well, I'm sorry. What was that last thing?
Taking on more than I need to, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And even in this conversation, I feel like you've already said kind of you're not so sure if you want to go further or whatever. So it could even make sense in this conversation, and we might be best to just respect that. This scared part, I'm sure has a lot to show you, and it's not, recognizing you well. And I also want to point out, this part is saying, don't leave me. It's saying, come and get me, or else I'll be trapped. And, that's in common with some of the kind of exile or very young parts that I feel like we've talked to or talked about. You know, the 5-year-old in the hospital having that same fear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, I assume that's all connected.
My goodness.
Yeah.
You listen and you remember, and it's like, somebody really listened to me and remember what I say to them, because I don't always remember. And it's like, wow, this person
Right.
really is listening to me. And
Yeah. Well, you have parts that don't want to go there. That's all. And that's totally normal.
it just,
And it helps to have someone do it with you. I need help when I go to my scariest places because I have so many parts that don't want to go there. So,
just to remind me,
yeah.
though, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm like a happy cry. It's
Yeah.
very touching.
Yeah. Well, I'm honored. And thanks for letting me in. Yeah. And we don't need to, I don't know that we should go further now with this part. I think that maybe you can just let it know that you'd like to get to know it, and let it know who you are, that you'd like to help it, and that we can do that another time. Or whatever feels right for you.
Like I just get sitting down, or laying down, phew.
Yeah. Yeah, you've dealt with a lot, right? You've dealt with a lot today. You've dealt with a lot in life, as the angry part was explaining. So.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I think I have another one next week. I did.
I hope so.
All righty. Thank you so much. You
I
have a
look
good.
forward to hearing from you again. All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows, that might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube, and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.